Hi guys, welcome back to HarryMakesItUp. As you might see from the title of this video, I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear. I had a very good night last night. It was really fun. I went out with some friends. There was lots of Prosecco involved and lots of amazing food, but it's Sunday and I feel exhausted. So I thought this would be a really good chance to film a video because I'm going out to meet some friends later just for a coffee and I need to not look like I've had no sleep. I think that's the worst thing with being hungover, is that your sleep pattern as well that night ends up being like 2 hours sleep here, then no sleep for 2 hours, then you get another 2 hours sleep. So it's so inconsistent that things like dark circles, and dehydrated skin are going to be common problems. So I'll give you an idea of kind of what I do within this situation. So already what I've done is to use some of the Skyn Iceland Hydra firming eye gels. These are really good. I put these in the fridge as well. They're just so nice when you're hungover or really, really tired if you've had lack of sleep. These are a lifesaver. So I've started with those already. So I washed my skin in the shower. I had a really nice hot shower just to get all the pores open and sweat it out. And actually London as well today is incredibly hot. Like, we seem to have just got this heat wave where yesterday was boiling and today is boiling. Hence why the hair's all back, because I'm just a hot sweaty mess. And the next thing I used was the Kiehls Cactus Flower Tibetan Ginsing Hydrating Mist. So this is just a really nice way to kind of get extra moisture back into the skin. So I'd cleansed my skin in the shower already, like a muslin cloth and a facial wash. But this is a step I've been including a lot at the minute. And if I'm tired or hungover, then this is an essential. So I've been doing that one, and then what I've been doing is using the, like I said, it will go quite skincare heavy for me if I'm hungover, because I notice I'll start to get like little burst blood vessels, or that's when I kind of find redness around my nose becomes a little bit more extreme. So I've been using the Elizabeth Arden 8 Hour. This is the Superstart Skin Renewal Booster, and this is a really, really lovely, I guess you would call it like a serum, but you can use it pre-serum, your normal serum, if you want like an extra boost, as the name would suggest. And I just find this really nice because it doesn't feel too intense, but it just gives, again, all about kind of adding more hydration, more skin clearing benefits, just making everything really nice and ready for makeup application. Can't even speak, guys, that's how little sleep I've had. But yeah, so that's a really nice one. And then because of the products I'm going to use first, makeup wise, I'm actually not going to use a moisturiser, because maybe you can see already, I'm already starting to get sweaty. So there's no need for moisturiser for me today. It's just going to come straight off. So obviously at this point, if it wasn't boiling hot outside, I probably would use a moisturiser first and put that on. And then I also thought as well I would mention the scent that I wear. I find for me, scent is a really important thing. If I feel hungover or I'm really, really tired, I feel like I'm super sensitive to smell. So if anything's too strong or too sweet, I find it very sickly and it kind of doesn't sit so well with me. So I'm actually using a little bit of Malone Wood Sage and Sea Salt. I like a super fresh scent when I'm hungover, so I've spritzed a little bit of that on already, and I love that. That just smells really light, really fresh, and I think kickstarts my head back into the feeling of like, we're awake, let's seize the day. So as I said, guys, it's boiling hot today in London, so I'm just going to go straight into my base, what I'm going to use for my base. I'm actually going to use the Chapman Skin Insurance SPF 30. So as I said, it's really hot outside. I know I've got a good SPF, and this just comes in like a pump bottle. And it's not a foundation, it's not a tinted moisturiser, it just has a lot of skin benefits in it. And as you see when I put it on, there is like a little bit of tint in it, so it's just going to give my skin a little bit of moisturising. It's just going to smooth out my skin. And I feel as well, like when you're hungover, you don't want to feel like you're wearing loads of makeup and like masking it. So I actually go for the sort of less is more approach. And I just want to say as well, guys, thank you so much for your feedback on last week's video. I'm going to pop a link somewhere to last week's video just about my channel and how I'm going to experiment more, and there's going to be some additions in content, etc. And just all your feedback was really lovely and super supportive, so that meant a lot. So you can see as well, it just gives my skin a bit more of like an extra glow as well. So I feel like that's where you get a nice bit of like skin luminosity back as well, which the alcohol and lack of sleep does tend to take away. So you can take that down your neck, and that's just given like a bit of life back to my skin. I feel like it's really nice. You can still see the skin texture, but you can see like I've got a little spot coming here. I've still got some redness, and I'd rather use my concealer to counteract that. Now, eyes, I think, are quite a giveaway when you've had no sleep, not just under the eye, but also the eyelid. And for me, I definitely get a lot of discoloration on the eyelid. It's where my veins will start to appear a little bit darker. So I'm going to use the Clarins. This is the Instant Light Eye Perfecting Base in 00. And I just like something that's kind of, you know, it can act as an eye base as well, but just with fingers. We can just take out any of the colour of the veins, just like neutralise the eye a little bit more. So that's eye base on, that just gives a bit of kind of evening out on the eyes. Then I'm going on to brows. I'm going to use my cheap and cheerful NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I think this is such a good product for the price. And I'm just going to fill in any gaps. Let me bring my mirror a little bit nearer. It is so, so hot today, guys. I actually do get quite nervous when it starts to get this hot. It feels a bit impossible to film videos, but someone told me you can get a fan by Dyson that makes no sound. I feel like that's the only problem, is how you have a fan or air conditioning without getting the sound in the videos. I'm just going backwards and forwards, just adding and like filling in my brow a little bit so that the shape is a little bit more perfected. Okay, so brows on, my face structure is kind of starting to come back together. You can see how hot it is. I'm still really sweaty. The other thing I put on my lips as well is to get some hydration back in is the Elizabeth Arden Intensive Repair Balm. I really, really like this. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I'm very sensitive to smell when I'm kind of tired or hungover, and I love the normal 8-hour cream, but that's when I find the smell is a bit too intense. So this one is much more subtle and I definitely prefer that. So I've popped that on my lips, and the next thing I'm going to do is, again, I just want to keep it really super simple. I don't want to feel too made up, but I want to feel like I can go outside, look fresh-faced, and hide the fact I've had hardly any sleep. So I'm going to use next the Burberry Gold Copper Eye Colour Cream. So it's this one. It's just a nice kind of light illuminating shade that's going to open up my eye and hopefully just make it look a little bit neater. So I'm just going to do this with my fingers. That's the good thing with these. They're like super easy to apply. So I'm just going to run that over my eyelid and a little bit up to my crease and just like blend it out with my finger. And then I'm going to do inside my top waterline, which is just going to give a bit of definition. So I'm going to use the Tom Ford High Definition Eyeliner Crayon, and this is in black. And I'm just going to go into the top waterline with this, just so that my lashes look that little bit blacker. And then rather than do, I feel like I still need a Harry flick because that feels like me, but I can't be bothered to kind of make it messy with gels or creams, so I'm just going to use an eyeshadow from my Lorac palette. I think I'm probably just going to take Espresso, like a nice dark brown. Again, if you feel like your eyes look really tired, I would avoid kind of going with a full-on black liner because it'll look very crisp and it'll draw more attention to it. So I'm just using a wing liner brush by Zoeva, and I'm just going to give a little bit of brown shadow all the way along my lash line. Now obviously with this as well, you can kind of like blend it out and soften it. So by using shadow, it just makes it that little bit easier and it makes it a little bit softer. So you know me guys, I like a little wing. And that makes me feel like me. But it's just going to be kept soft, that's the important thing. And I can keep using my finger. It's good, this look is very hand friendly. It's very easy to do without needing many brushes, which is good. I mean, you could even do this with a Q-tip. And also a good tip as well, actually, if you're someone who likes to wear like a flick like me, you can always use eyeshadow first to kind of map out your eye flick shape, and then just go over it with a liquid line if you want to intensify it. But for me, for a Sunday, this is fine. Now I also need a tiny bit of definition back to my lower lash line. So I'm just going to take a bit of taupe from this palette, or you could use mauve, and I'm just going to take that a little bit under the bottom lash line, just on the kind of outer corner. Starting to come back to life. I'm excited for concealer. That's going to be really good. So then I'm going to do mascara, and I found a new one I'm really liking, guys. It's by Clinique, and it's the Lash Power Mascara Long Wearing Formula. Finally found an easy to get hold of mascara that doesn't give me panda eyes, and it's got a very, very thin brush, which I really like, so it's great for doing the bottom lashes as well. So I'm just going to do a bit on the bottoms. I feel personally like I need mascara on the bottom lashes, definitely if I am looking very tired. Okay, and when you're tired, lash curling is a must. So I've got some MAC eyelash curlers here, and I'm actually going to need a bigger mirror. I'm going to use my Lorac Pro mirror. So I'm just going to give my lashes a very good curl, and I'm going to make sure like I tilt the lash curler right back. Oh, I've got sweaty chin, Sula, sweaty everything. And then I'm going to use that same mascara, and I'm just going to really try and like lift my lashes. So again, now you can see as well, I put the black Tom Ford one underneath. Even though I've used a powder like as a liner, it just gives the definition more. So now comes the exciting bit, which is concealer. So depending on how tired I am, really depends what kind of concealer I'll go for. Often I'll still use a bit of the Urban Decay concealer. So I'm going to start with that, and that's kind of in the same tone as my skin, because I'm going to need this to kind of cover any of the redness around my nose and any areas where I definitely feel like they just need evening out a bit further. So like I said, I've used a light base, and then I'm just going to use my trusty Real Techniques setting brush. You guys know I love this. And I'm just going to use that just to take out the redness. So I definitely have redness around my nose and I have a lot of kind of grey under my eyes. So I just want to like match the skin tone back to my normal skin tone first before I lighten anything. Now, if for whatever reason it was like super dark under my eyes, I actually would use some Vichy. So this is a really good one. Their Corrective Fluid. That's a really nice one. And sometimes I'll just use, so I've got a bit of opal here, which is very light, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this, so on the brush, and I'm just going to pop it just here, quite low down, and then blend that through, so it just highlights the lower part of the eye a little bit. And because it's quite long lasting, it's like a long wearing formula, it's going to brighten just where I need a bit of extra brightness today. But I'm just going to make sure that I run the brush backwards and forwards, so it blends in really well. So I've used hardly any product because like the tiniest amount of this goes such a long way. But I can just keep going and like adding, if there's any shadowy areas that are still dark, that's where I use something like this. If you have really oily skin, you can use Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. You could do the same with that. And then for the rest of my powder, I'm going to use the Bourjois Healthy Mix powder. And this is in shade, I think, yeah, 52. I have 52. And I'm just going to use that now just to kind of set any concealing work I've done. So like down the middle of my face. I'm just going to mattify a little bit because it is hot in London today. So I'm just using that. I'm going to add some powder products because I think on me today they'll be more long lasting. So then I'm going to go in with the Chanel Les Beige, and this is number 40. So I'm going to use it more like a bronzer. So it's that kind of shade. And for that, what brush am I going to use? I'm going to take, this Estee Lauder one's really nice actually. This is their blush brush. So I'm just going to use that first, and I'm just going to like add a bit more warmth and a bit more glow, because the other thing you tend to find is when you're hungover, like a lot of the colour gets like sucked out of your face. So I'm kind of going to take this all over, but in a very sort of thin layer, just to warm myself up again. And again, this is quite a nice glowy powder. It's not too matte. I mean, it's obviously not shimmery, but it does just give a bit of extra. And I can even use that down my neck a bit as well, actually, just to bring a bit of kind of colour back to the skin. And then blusher, I think, is probably one of the most important things when you're hungover. So I'm going to go for a nice pinky pop. Anything with like a rose tone is kind of universally complimentary. So obviously if you have a darker skin tone, you want to go for a darker rose. And obviously if you have a lighter skin tone, just opt for kind of a lighter, rosier pink. So I'm just going to take this from here. This one is called Pink Pop. I'm just going to take that kind of a little bit higher than the apples, just to give me a little bit of a glow. And we're going to cheat that I'm feeling healthy today and that I've had loads of sleep, which I haven't. But it's my own fault and it was fun, so it's fine. And then I am going to use some highlights today. I'm going to take a bit of Becca Moonstone, which is the pressed one, so a little bit of this. And for that, I'm probably going to use my Shu Uemura 17 brush. This is lovely, this brush. And I'm just going to dust some of that onto the cheek. So we're just going to cheat the glow where I want the glow, just so I look nice and healthy again. Like I said, it's all about faking sleep. And a little bit in the middle of my nose. I quite like it just in the middle of the bridge. So just across there, very subtle amount. I'm not going too full on with it because this is a very highlightery product, but I really like that about this. And then again, what I find with my lips is my lips tend to get quite dehydrated and they almost like shrink a little bit. So I'm just going to use my Pillow Talk Lip Cheat by Charlotte Tilbury. So I've got the lip balm on and I'm just going to add a little bit more to my lip. And then I'm just going to go back to my lip balm and just put a little bit more lip balm on and just kind of blend that in, because I don't really want lipstick today. I don't want anything high maintenance. And I like the way that looks, just having a bit of lip balm. And because I've added the lip pencil, it's just kind of plumped up my lips a little bit, which is nice. So that is fine for lips. And yeah, I think, guys, I may well be able to get away now with going out. Oh, I've got so many clips in my hair. So I think I'm gonna have to brush my hair and give it a proper shake out, but I definitely feel like I've got a bit of life back to me. I look a bit more awake, a bit more healthy. And yeah, I think that is how I'm gonna cheat my hangover today. I'm gonna fake not being tired or knackered. And I also did a makeup tutorial that was similar to this for like when you're feeling ill and poorly, if you've got like cracked redness around your nose, which I'll link somewhere above here as well. And don't forget to check out the blog as well, which is just HarryMakesItUp.com, and make sure you subscribe, like if you liked it, and I'll see you soon for videos.